Have you ever discovered that someone you know has been dealing with a hardship, a struggle, long suffering on a matter for months, maybe years, and you were clueless because when you see them or you saw them last, there was no physical, emotional indication that something was off or wrong. Maybe they just wore their struggle well. Could it be that the way that that person viewed their struggle or their suffering, or the way that you and I view struggles and suffering, is very different? Their mindset about it, their perspective on it, just didn't allow them to wear it in a way that was on their sleeve or shoulder and everyone knew what was going on. They wore it well. Hi, I'm Stephannie Solomon, the host of the Winning Ways podcast. Thank you for joining me. Well, today I'm going to be talking about how to reframe or to consider looking at your struggle, your hardship in a different way. If you're new to the podcast, I invite you to subscribe. I invite you to comment. I invite you to share. Yes, absolutely. As we move forward, I'm an author. I am a life coach with niches in family dynamics, forgiveness, and personal development. Let's get right to it. Well, when I podcast, I like to come from my writings. And tonight I'm coming from my first book, written back in 1997. I had a friend say to me back in around 2011, how long do you think you can do this? There's only but so much you can say from your writings. Well, it's now 2024. And when I started in 2010, it was just on the audio platform. And now I'm here on this YouTube platform trying to gain some momentum and a targeted population. And there's always something to talk about from my writings. Well, I'm coming from the chapter, You Wear It Well. And I just want to pull out some little snippets from that chapter and share some reflections and some insights. All right. So bear with me here. Although mystifying to some, suffering and struggling contribute to the abundant life declared by and found only in Christ Jesus. The area in which we, excuse me, the area in which we struggle is common to the body of Christ. Yet, the intensity and length of the contention contribute to the uniqueness of each believer's situation. Every struggle works to complete the divine process, which defines, separates, and identifies children of God. And finally, this little piece here. Because our God is the God who preserves and restores, we do not have to look like we have gone through 10 years of famine. So when you're looking at someone who is struggling or has been struggling and you're wondering, hey, I would have never known. They don't look like what they've been through. They don't look like what I heard they are going through. Maybe it's because, excuse me, maybe it's because they have discovered that life can be made more beautiful when they struggle without complaints, when they struggle without being a victim. They've decided to make a beautiful life for themselves. And how did they do that? They made a beautiful life for themselves because they've made a choice. And I'm not minimizing anyone's struggles. Trust me, I could be called the queen of struggles. I used to say, why does everything have to be a struggle? The smallest thing, a struggle, a struggle, a struggle. But I have learned that we can choose to make our lives beautiful. And that too can be a struggle. It really can. But listen to this. Choose to make a beautiful life for yourself, even when the struggles of life have not been beautiful or kind to you or I. We can make that choice. Yes, we can. The thing is, I have learned that many people struggle with choosing to make that choice because they're looking at so many factors. And I've learned that the bottom line is I want to be happier. I want to be content. And I am not going to allow the struggle to steal from me what I can have. We all can have a better space, a better life. Well, let's look at just two things that resonate with me. One is this one here. Let's see, put this up for you. There are so many things that happen to us that we don't bring on ourselves. We have nothing to do with oppression, regression, you can name it. And then there are things that we do as well. The bottom line is sometimes we spend so much time thinking about the struggle, the suffrage, that we give them a place of honor that they don't deserve. The struggle doesn't deserve that place of honor. And there are some struggles that ought to be talked about so that we can appreciate um, life without too many struggles. I get that. I really do. But what we have to be careful of is not giving um, honor to the struggle to the point where we don't enjoy peace and joy and all of the good aspects of life. All right. And we can do that unintentionally. Absolutely. We can talk about the struggle so much that we're not present when opportunities and doors open where you're like, oh, this just landed in my lap, or what. We don't enjoy the moment. We don't gravitate to the peace, the contentment, the happiness, the joy, because the struggle has dominated our thinking and has put us really in a guarded spot where we're always thinking what's about to happen. Yes, the struggles are real. The struggle is real, but don't give it glory. Don't idolize it. We can idolize anything unintentionally to the point where we don't enjoy the moment with others, because we're always remembering what life was as a struggle. Don't do this because I remember when this happened, I had to do. Yeah, that's true. And the struggle teaches us a lot. It teaches us how to preserve. It teaches us how to prepare and things. But don't allow that memory to rob you and I of the blessings and the present day things that come into our spaces. Yeah, I believe in being watchful and that as well, but at the same time, don't allow any of that to take away the joy of the moment. And that's what I find that some people do when they are getting blessed. They're so busy thinking about what's coming around the corner because the struggle to get to where they are has dominated their emotional sphere or the aspect of their being. And they're constantly thinking about all that can go wrong. And that's what the struggle brings. I just think we have to find balance. And that's a choice. Again, it's a choice. It's a choice to reframe, not to forget what life was like with the struggle. And for many of us, if we're honest, we're still struggling with some things. And that's going to lead me into the next part. But we can struggle with things and still be content. We can struggle with things and still be happy. We can struggle with some things and still be joyous. Don't let the struggle rob you of being present in the moment, vested in the moment, enjoying the moment. As someone said, maximizing the moment. Someone said, seizing the day, because the struggle that's so real is still ever present, looking on, arms folded, like I dare you. I dare you to dare. I dare you to take a dare and be happy with me in your life. Yeah, the struggle comes to harass and torment. But I've learned that the Spirit of the Lord is about liberation. And where the Spirit of God is, there's liberty. And the Spirit of God comes to set us free. And freedom does not mean that the thing that torments us won't come around and harass us. God chooses to deliver us in different ways at different times. You could be in the lion's den with the lions and be delivered. You could be in a fiery furnace and be delivered. Not out of the furnace, but in the furnace ablaze and be delivered. God does things the way he wants them done for different reasons. Sometimes to show that thing that harasses us, that comes to create hardship and struggle and suffering in our life, that, hey, I'm Lord, I'm God of all, I'm Lord of all. And I'm going to let you watch me elevate, expand, advance them, evolve them with you right there. Sometimes that's the greatest power move, I think, with the struggle right there. Most of us just want it gone, get rid of it. And we have not been empowered yet. And sometimes God uses the staying of that struggle and that thing in our space to empower us with it there, to really show us it's impotent. It doesn't have as much power as it has been saying and speaking to you.
Hey, Scholar, whose book are you reading now?
I'm enjoying a great reading by Stephannie Solomon. Her conversational writing style, disciple-centric themes, and liberal approach to topics is such a blessing to me. She's so on point.
Wow, she sounds like someone I want to hear, and her book's like something I need to share with my book club.
You know, her books are accessible through all electronic mediums and at the brick-and-mortar booksellers, and you can hear her on her weekly blog talk radio show.
I take it she's on Twitter and other social networks?
Yes, and she's funny, too.
Sounds like the author and her books have great personality. I'll be getting my copies today.
Yes, get your copy today. All of my books are available in brick and mortar bookstores and digital distributors as well. However, if you want a signed copy, and I'm not at an event where books are being sold, hey, log on to www.stephanniesolomon.com. That's right there, scrolling across there on your screen. All right, the banner there. All right, let's get back to it. There's another reflection that came out of this chapter, You Wear It Well, and it's this one. They're non-negotiable. And I am telling you, having self-respect and peace in the midst of a storm, in the midst of a struggle, in the midst of long suffering, that's a power move right there. It's top tier. Because as I said earlier, the Lord will sometimes keep the fire, keep the lions, keep the wild beasts in proximity. May not be close proximity, but it's proximity. So that you and the beast, you and the fire, you and the fury, you and the struggle, you and the torment, you and the harasser can see the power of God at work together. God does not have to. He chooses to. He's sovereign. If he wants to move the thing first, he does. He does everything with the plan in mind. Remember, we are his. He planned us. He has a plan for our life and purpose for our life. He knows what's tailor-made for us and what works. But I am telling you, it's something about God keeping the tormentor and the harasser in a proximate view. So he or she can see the wonders of God being worked out in our lives. And if we're not careful, again, if we don't reframe, get a different mindset, I like to say a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset says, this is the way it is. It has to be this way. This is the way so-and-so did. It has to be done this way. My mother went through this. My father went through this. So I got to go through this. As a math teacher, I heard this a lot. I was never good in math. So it's no wonder my child. No. It's not genetic. It's not hereditary. It's choice. Excuse me. And that's something we can grow out of. But no, the fixed mindset has no room for alternative growth. I didn't say alternative lifestyle, anti-God. I said alternative growth in the Lord. The growth mindset, I don't know why my voice is, pardon me. The growth mindset is all about options in God and trusting him with it. He never forces us. God never forces us to do anything. That's why heaven and hell are options. Whole nother podcast. But we have the choice to grow in God, to develop personally, spiritually in the Lord. It's all a choice. And I am a witness that when we choose to play victim, that's a fixed mindset. Woe is me. And we're human. We have our days. Excuse me. We have our moments when we go down that rabbit hole. We go into a dark place. But if you're like me and you know that you are a child of the light, a child of the day, and God is the God of light, at some point, you're up out of here. This rabbit hole is not where I want to stay and want to remain. We're up out of there. And if we're not careful, we won't choose the growth mindset. We won't choose to trust God for everything without a blueprint. We won't. And we will hold on to the struggle, giving that struggle the power it does not deserve in our lives, becoming an idol when it really doesn't deserve to be in the place where we put it. And therefore, it will rob us of our self-respect, our peace, and more. I'm just throwing out self-respect and peace right now. But I am a witness that it's a power move to decide to move with a struggle unresolved, not moved. And God is growing you and I up in Him, moving us along. You just see the footprints, you see traces of God everywhere in your life, but that struggle is still here. I'm still dealing with this financial hardship, this financial setback. I'm still dealing with relationship issues, romantic, family, colleagues, social. It doesn't matter. I'm antisocial. I don't trust people. I still got this monkey on my back. You name the struggle. But guess what? God is Lord of it. And again, it's about us choosing to trust Him to show us balance. And when and if He's ready to move it, Paul said it best to me. He said, he had a thorn in the flesh. We don't know what it was. People have speculated, but he had a thorn in his flesh. But did that stop Paul? And he told us how he went to God 3 times about this matter. And even though God didn't move it, God told him His grace was sufficient. Did that stop the way the Lord used Paul? No, because Paul had a lot to do with it. Paul chose that with this thing, whatever it was, physical, spiritual, psychological, emotional, we don't know, but whatever it was, he was still moving forward in God to be the servant that God had called him to be. And we're still talking about the acts of Paul to this day with that thorn in the flesh. So I want to say to someone today, struggles are real, but they are not our gods, and they are not Lord of us. As a couple of kids used to say in my classroom, you're not the boss of me. They're not the boss of you. They really aren't, unless we put them in that place for them to believe that they are. Because that energy that a struggle brings, we can resist it when we first submit and surrender to the power and authority of Christ Jesus, who's Lord of all, even Lord of your struggle and mine. To conclude, to summarize, try to keep in mind that you can reframe your thinking, your perspective. You can choose the type of lens that you want to see life through. I'm just hoping that you put in the work, make the choice to do what's necessary to have the best mindset, the healthiest mindset possible. You can reframe your thinking. Behind me are jigsaw puzzles. I am a jigsaw puzzle enthusiast. And during the height of the pandemic, I ordered puzzles from everywhere to help me just to occupy my time and occupy myself rather. And a lot came out of that. But anyway, they are puzzles. They're glued together and framed. Framed within the borders, there are pictures, images that have been captured. You too can capture idea. You can capture a moment. You can capture so much with the right frame. You ever get the wrong frame for lenses? Nice lens, wrong frame. That's a perfect match, perfect set of eyeglasses, right? Because you have the right frame, right lens. It's all about putting those together. That perspective, framed right, will really help you and I, in life as we struggle and suffer, because life be lifing, as they say, and people be peopling. Just made that up. But it is what it is, you know? And all I want to say to you is you can reframe your thoughts. Absolutely. You can do that. So walk away with those salient points, apply them, see what happens, and give them some time. You make mistakes, get up and try again. As they used to say when a baby would fall down, get up and try it again. Get up and try it again. And if you fall again, get up again. Every fall, there's a get up. All right. Well, I hope that that blessed you in some way. Absolutely, in some way. You know, it's summer and I'm not on every Monday. People have been asking, where you been? Where are you? I'm still here. Click what I need you to do when you subscribe. Many of you are subscribing, but you're not clicking the notification button. So click the notification button so that you will know when a live broadcast is coming forth. All right. Well, take care, everybody. Continue to enjoy your summer. And remember, www.stephanieersolomon.com is where you want to click for your small group or one-on-one sessions with Evolve for Life. There we go. Trying to pull it up, trying to do two things at once. Evolve for Life is coaching service. Okay. All right, everyone. Have a great summer. Until the next time that I post, take care and remain blessed.